let's talk about that game. Let's talk about that game. Man is talking here like as if, 5 games unbeaten, 5 games unbeaten. And let me say this, right? Let me just say this. Like, those subs here were not needed. Those subs here were not needed, blood. And the thing about it is that why I'm saying that here is because we have just thrown away another 2 points. And I told man that this year was going to happen, blood. I said this in the previous video that if we do some bookery, this is what's going to happen. And then after that, what happened is that if you keep on doing the same bookery like you did here before the quote unquote, the 3 games here unbeaten, look what happens, fam. You start to lose momentum. And then what happened after that here is that we can't trust you now. We can never trust you. I understood the Mazraoui sub here for Sesko, like that, because obviously Mazraoui came back from injury, and he's not fit. So fair enough, like that, especially when we need another attacker up front. Fairs. And also Harry Maguire for Euro, because like I think Harry Maguire, man, was feeling something at the back of his hamstring, I think, like that. So I understood that. But the other 3 weren't needed, blood. And that was an overall a crap performance. In that game, we almost caught life, We almost caught life, Because, like, look, in that game, that was the second game that we were 2-1 down before these man saved him. We threw away another 4 points. And man, you're saying that this is progress. That's not progress whatsoever. It's not progress, fam. It's not progress. It's not. I said this year for a minute, that no one shouldn't celebrate when we were going 3 games unbeaten. Now look. Let me tell you something for free. The way the table is shaping up right now, fam, you can just tell, that how bad it's going in terms of the quality of the league. Is that especially when Arsenal and Liverpool have now lost points. You can clearly see that if Man United have won those games against both at Nottingham Forest and now at Spurs, we would have been in the top 4. Let that sink in, fam. Let that sink in. And like I said in the previous video, Amorim is on fraud watch, blood. He's on fraud watch, blood. He is. He's on thin ice, blood. He is. And Ineos, man, we're going to have a small chat, fam. We're going to have a small chat. Because you're the one that appointed this man to be in the job. Where like he wanted to come here. I think it was last summer. But then he came early. He came early, fam. And you appointed a man that was so stubborn that he's not willing to change anything. Man, I've said that for a minute that if you take off Casemiro, we lose control of the game. And look what happened, blood. As soon as Casemiro came off, that's when the floodgates came. That's when the floodgates came. You can tell, man, from the quality of both teams. Were on the floor, fam. Even though your Spurs had injuries like Madison, Solanke, Kudus, etc. That game, look, for me, when I was watching that game, I didn't care about the performance. I didn't care about the performance. I just want a win, because we all know that United, man, like there was no structure, there was no system. There was nothing. It's just like, just give it to Mbeumo and Cunha or whoever's up front and let them deal with it. That's it. Long ball. Don't even pass through the midfield. Just pass through here to the wing backs, pass it here to whoever here is up front, and let them just do it. That's how it is, fam. That's how it is. And then what happened is that, according to that, then they start to adapt here to how the team, the opposition, is playing. The tempo was slow in that game as well. I remember, so slow. And you know me, I literally wish that we had like wingers at the wing back position, like actual attacking wingers. To press their left back and the right back here to push them up on their push them up here in their half. We saw you from that game, like when you see it from their line up here to our line up here, I was like, look, we have a better front three than them. So we have more. And like I said about pressing, if we can press them, they will fold. But then yet, man, we're still relying, man, on individual brilliance and not as a unit. When I saw that triple sub, I couldn't believe it, fam. I just couldn't believe it. And like I said, man, Casemiro, man, he has been our best player in midfield. And then when you bring in Ugarte and Mount, that substitution, man, was bound to happen regardless of the situation on the pitch. And not even that, man, you didn't have to do all that, fam. Now, look, I'm going to say this, man, on Amorim's defense also. Because, what just happened here in that game, right? Who would have thought, man, that Sesko here would be injured? No one saw that coming, fam. But I would say this to Amorim, man, that if you had better game management, there was no need, man, to bring in Ugarte and Mount. And then what happened is that you could have brought on another midfielder just to help out Mr. Spamming and Casemiro in midfield, having three in midfield. And then you have another substitution to handle the Sesko situation. Now, because of that was that you just done, we were playing 10 men. We were actually playing, we were playing one man down. That's how it was. And me, I was just saying this, right, that we needed Xerxes in that game. I mean, I have always said this, right, that when you're playing a team that's playing a similar to a low block, or you're not having your most of the ball in the game, or you want us here to hold the ball and pass with purpose, you need a baller like Xerxes, because Menu was unavailable. How Mount is playing or starting or even coming on over Xerxes is beyond me, fam. It's beyond me, blood. It's beyond me. That was overall, that was absolutely rubbish. That game. It is exactly like the European the Europa League final. The quality in Amorim almost caught life in that, because if Spurs were in full strength, Man United would have been put on a spliff, like that. And then I was so glad that Dalot didn't play this game until Dogu gets a yellow, and he had to come off for Dalot. Because when you see that, you say to yourself, fam, Amorim, I've said this in the previous video, right? Don't do some foolishness, fam. Blood, please. Don't do some foolishness, fam. And concede. And then, in that game, if I could remember, the ball was keeping coming back to us every time that we cleared it. And then look what happened after that. Tell scored for Spurs. I was saying about... Because what happened is that when you take off players like, was it Cunha? Obviously, Harry Maguire, yep. when you take up so many substitutions, right, what happens is that you lose the momentum of the game and it ruins it. You're taking off too many players. Look what happened here with Liverpool at the moment here, where like they are doing too many changes here to their squad, to the fact that they don't recognize the players that they brought in are not the same that were there in the previous season, where how Slot plays is not the same because there are too many changes. Almost half their team is gone in terms of the fact that up here they're not used to it yet. They're not used to the league. They're not used to being here with certain players. You know them way there. So exactly the same thing here as what Amorim had done here. He took off too many players off, brought them in and ruined the momentum of the game. And I've said this here for a minute. Don't take off Cass. Don't take him. Surprisingly, he's one of our best players. Because of what was happening, I was like, fam, Amorim, just do a 9-1-0 formation, fam. Park the pass, do something. And then look what behold, Richarlison scored, blood. Almost coming twice in a row, then losing it. What I meant by that is the fact that two games, twice, you've done the same thing. You were 1-0 up, you let them come back, and then we equalize. Last time it was Ahmad, now it was delayed. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we almost came second on the table, the Premier League table, twice in a row, then losing it. This is the same circumstances against the Nottingham Forest, like I said before. Amorim almost caught life. He almost caught life. Big man think he almost caught life, fam. He almost did. And oh man. The thing about it is that here we can't, the way Spurs is now, the way they are here without like Kudus and Madison for example, blood. We can't lose that game. It's man alright. We can't lose that game. And like I said before, take off Casemiro, the game is gone. This game proved my point. All the changes he done here was negative, fam. And then, as I said, Mount, Onogate, 2 defenders, negative, fam. We don't need 2 cardio man on the same field. Joking. We don't need that. We don't need that, blood. Like I said before, have Cass, Mr. Spamming, and Ogate. Have them, man. Because then you have a midfield. But what Amorim doesn't care about the midfield whatsoever. He doesn't. The midfield is just there here for, I don't know, for backup. And that's the reason why that he takes off Cassia for Ogate and takes off Cunha for Mount. That way he got extra legs in the midfield. The thing about it is that make Spurs here figure us out. Why is man making subs as if we are losing? I don't get that. I literally don't. You can tell, man, that the players, man, like, what they're doing on the pitch. They know, yeah, that they have to do what they have to do. Because it looked like as if, I don't know if they are, definitely, man, you can just tell, man, that he's some kind of survival mode kind of thing on the pitch, the way he's managing. And like I said before, man, like if Cunha, right, if Cunha blood, you know, because he was playing up front, and I said before, man, that he's a player that likes to take on players with the ball. So he plays. So then, when he's frustrated, he come deep. He's like, "Nah, less of that. Less of that. Forget about that, man. I'm not gonna listen to the manager. Let me just go and, come deep. Take one man, and then try and score." And then Amram doesn't. How come someone who like Man United, right, watches the game, can see that Cunha and Mr. Spamming don't work? It doesn't work, bro. It doesn't. It doesn't work. They bought him. He's a maverick. And the thing, and then, do you know what the biggie thing is the fact that Bruno occupied the same space here as Cunha. In that game, you can just tell, man, that the players, man, look, they're like, nah, fam, we might as well do it, man, our own way, blah. Like that, like, look at this one, Ahmad. Great cross, for the goal, for Mbeumo. Was cool. Great header by, Mbeumo. He didn't have to do much, because like, the quality of the pass from Ahmad was something that I rate highly. And you know me, like I said before, I rate, man, Ahmad. I've been saying this here for a minute, man, that Ahmad is a baller. Like I said, with that precise pass he did against Liverpool for Mbeumo to score the goal, exactly the same thing. That precise cross, and all Mbeumo had to do is just, that's it. 1-0. And then after that, man, we haven't done anything in the first half. Spurs, they weren't even a threat. Like that. And like I said before, I've said this a lot of time, man, that this game is totally different, from the other 4 games. So then the way that you approach, it gotta be different. And this is what man was saying. I was saying that. You gotta take games here a little bit different. Not such a drastic change. Because then it ruins the momentum, it ruins the partnership. Like, for example, the right hand side with Mbeumo and Ahmad. And it was really good here for Mbeumo, man, because the thing was that is that you can rely on him. I think it was 5 goals in 10 or 5 games in 9. Forgive me if I got that wrong. In the Premier League, man, for Mbeumo, not bad. Man, we take that. This is what, man, that man paid him for. And and the thing about it is that Amram, man, he had to get his mind together, bloody, with the midfield. The midfield is so important. That's where the game is lost or even won, and he's neglecting that. And then when the space between Casemiro and Mr. Spamming is far apart, you leave him isolated. This is why they have to be together, or close together, more like. Because what happened is that instead of making a major issue for the opposition, you make a major issue for yourself. De Ligt played well. Silent, bad, man. Like that, fam. And Dogu played okay in this game. He just needs refining. That, but he will be okay, man. He was causing problems here for Spurs, man, going forward. I remember there was a cross that he did, and he didn't look up. And that is something that he needs to improve, because he's keep on rushing. There was no one in the box. I think there were 1 or 2 players just coming to go in the box. He's crossed it. And then I was like, oh, doggy blood. I remember, man. The thing about it is that, look, we want this man to succeed. I've said this for bare long. This isn't something, the stuff I'm saying is not new. It's not new. Like me, I don't want to I don't know how to stress this point. Because if you look at my first videos, man, in this channel, right, I was optimistic, but not gassed about the appointment of Amorim. And even though, like I said before, he wanted to come in the summer, right? And now I've spoken about Amorim, but this is also on Ineos blood. I've said this because, like, you chose this man to be here and allow him to still be here after the Europa League final, after the defeat here of the same team Spurs, only for the fact that the only difference is that Man United, Ineos, they kept Amorim, and then Spurs sacked Postecoglou. Even though he won it, they sacked him. I mean, I heard this man that the late years said that he was tired. How can he be tired, blood? How can he be tired? Like I said, this is on the manager. This is why that you structure. This is why that you need structure. Sorry, this is why that you need structure, fam, in a system. Because if there isn't one, you're all over the place. You're like headless chicken. And then the thing about it is this, right? The thing about it is this, is that if you don't have a structure, right, and then you're pressing, what happens? You get tired easily. Man is making them marathons on the pitch, blood, like cardio. When you have a system, you're able to press. In certain triggers, according to the opposition. But then if you keep them running, everybody's all over the place. That's when you impact the game. The trigger impacts the game. That's the difference. Because the players are able to run into their zone, the space, the zone, when the triggers are, then they go. Then they know, where to press, how to press. When the boy go to a certain zone, they go back into their position. Another player from the same team also presses. To keep the structure, to keep it. But then if you don't have nothing on the pitch, everybody's all over the place. And then what happens is that the opposition find Man United out and find the space behind Cass and Mr. Spamming. That's why you need a structure. And not even that. Like I said before about the late saying that we're tired. We're not Man United. They're not even playing midweek. Spurs are. These men run the whole length of the pitch to score a goal. Matting. You get me? Those things there.